A day in the life of myrac. I currently work in the intergenerational trauma lab within the Department of Clinical Psychology. I have been working in that lab under Dr. Stephanie Milan for about a year now. We are currently studying COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in mothers from both the US and the UK. We're specifically looking at the relationship between maternal mental health and COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy. We aim to identify which parents are hesitant and why, as well as examine if mothers with PTSD differ in vaccine beliefs and behaviors than mothers with other mental health history. For our study, we made a survey through Qualtrics and distributed through Prolific. We surveyed 354 mothers from 2 countries with 3 groups per country: a PTSD group, a different mental health diagnosis group, which was depression or anxiety, and a no mental health history group. Participants had children between 11 and 18 years old, and once the survey was completed by all participants, we coded their open-ended responses based on vaccine hesitancy models. Then we used SPSS to conduct chi-square and ANCOVA tests to test for group differences. The beginning of our summer focused on developing the survey, so currently we are in Qualtrics. Each of these blocks refers to a certain measure that we are using in their set of questions. Here are just a few of our questions within our COVID block. This multiple choice question right here has a forced response requirement, meaning you cannot continue without answering, and it also has specific instructions. So if our participant answers yes to the question, their child did have a COVID-19 vaccine, they would skip these following questions to the question, what was their biggest reason for deciding to? That question is only displayed if you answer yes. As you can also see, there are ranking questions, open-ended questions, there are also some Likert scale questions, and many more options. In Qualtrics, I can also edit the way the words appear on the screen, so if I wanted to change the color and size of this questions, I can do so like this. I can also choose if I want the questions randomized or in a certain order, and I can code multiple choice or ranked questions so that when it comes time to run statistical analyses, rather than words, their answers would be represented by numbers like here. Also, I'm able to preview the questions to make sure things work properly, so we'll just preview this block. These questions did not have a forced response, so I'm able to go through them. Issues, this one I cannot continue. If I answer yes, I skip the previous questions to this one. Now this Excel sheet shows all the participants' responses to just 2 of our questions, which was a multiple choice question asking, has the target child received a COVID-19 vaccine? The same child they had referred to when answering all questions of the survey, and the open-ended question, where they explain their reasoning. Column A shows each participant's study ID. These are used to protect the participant's right to privacy and are randomly given to each participant. Columns D through S are the codes that we are using for their open-ended responses. These common themes come from previous vaccine hesitancy models. We read each response and then indicate which codes or themes are present in each response. Each row has a participant's study ID, their answer to the multiple choice question, and their open-ended response, and the boxes underneath each code are either blank, indicating the code was not present in their response, or an X, for if they do. This is SPSS, which is a data analysis program used by many psychology researchers. On the screen right now is data from our study this summer. You can see the variables at the top of each column and actual data for each participant in a single row. The first column contains the same study IDs you saw before, and as I scroll, you will see many numbers that represent multiple choice answers, numerical answers, and some open-ended questions. This question here you saw earlier, and many of the responses here are the number 2, which represented no. SPSS can be used for different types of analyses and graphs, so if I wanted to test an association between PTSD history and a parent having already gotten the vaccine, I can run a chi-square test like this. And here the results would show me that what percentage of women with PTSD got the vaccine. The chi-square test here tells us that there is a significant difference as indicated by this p-value of 0.002. All p-values under 0.05 indicate significance. So in other words, mothers with PTSD are significantly less likely to have gotten the vaccine than mothers with a different diagnosis or with no diagnostic history.